Hello, my name is Angel Aguilar, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Pandulce podcast, where the shit is so sweet, you can't help but eat it up. That's my slogan. That's the slogan. That's the thing that's gonna be said at the beginning of these episodes. Yeah, so why is it called the Pandulce podcast? Why did that name come up? I like eating. I love milk. And I love having pan dulce with milk. If you're not Mexican, or I don't know how many other Hispanic countries eat pan dulce, maybe I'm a little ignorant, but if you've never had it before, I suggest you go to your local bakery and try some. It's very delicious. I love the gusano, which is it's like a piece of bread with sugar on it, and in the middle, it's just like, I don't even know what it is, but it's like this yellow, soft thing. It's delicious. I down those. And yeah, there's just like a big back history behind this. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I used to down Costco muffins. I mean, I still down them today, but as a kid specifically, I remember I would just down 2 Costco muffins in a row. And my mom would come back and be like, "You down 2 Costco muffins?" Like, I was beyond saving. I was just a fat kid, man. It was crazy. And there was actually one time when a squirrel broke into our house, through the window. It bit on it bit on the, I don't know what it's called, the wiring that stops bugs from getting in. It bit on that, and it came in and fucked up some muffins and just left a mess. And when my mom came home, the first thing she thought was that I did it. That's the kind of man you're dealing with when you're listening to this podcast, when you're hearing me speak. That's just gives you a sense of who I am as a person. I'm trying to put the big back shit behind me. I mean, I love eating. I'm never going to stop loving eating. But, we're trying to get fit. I think I saw a thing on TikTok where there's a saying, I think it's for women only, but it's like, "You're going to see me in a super tight bikini in the summer." And it's like, the girls have 4 months and they don't work out, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't happen. But, fuck that. We're going to lock in. This is happening. It's a jacked summer. That's what I need. All right. So will guests come on this podcast? In the future, I got some people who you guys probably don't know. Because if you're listening to this and you don't know me, then you don't know who any of these people I'm going to have on are. Maybe I'll get LeBron James. Was thinking about getting him on, but that's wishful thinking. So, I thought of some things we could talk about for a little bit. It's going to be a short podcast episode for our pilot, but I think it would be cool to say what celebrities I would beat in a fight, what celebrities I go even with, as in who it could go either way, and what celebrities would beat my ass. Okay, so let's start with who I'd beat in a fight. Dune 2 star Timothée Chalamet. I love the guy. I love Wonka. I love Dune Part 2. And I recently saw A Complete Unknown, which was really good too. He's a great actor, but he's got a slender build. And I'm not saying that I'm this super jacked guy yet, jacked in progress. But I think I'd beat that guy in a fight. No disrespect, no shade. That's just business, I guess. That's my thoughts on that. Somebody else I'd beat in a fight? Zendaya. If we're going women and men, I think I'd beat Zendaya in a fight. Actually, Zendaya low-key got range. Zendaya might be taller than me, and Zendaya's got some long-ass arms. So low-key, she might have an advantage there. Damn. No. But I can't hit Zendaya, then. No, let's keep this men only. Okay, and then for the last person I think I'd beat Michael Jackson in a fight. I love Michael Jackson. I love his music. I'm actually a big Michael Jackson fan, which sounds crazy. Well, maybe we'll talk about that in a minute, but he's got the moves, but it's just like Timothy. He's got that slender build, and I mean, maybe he has like some insane techniques that I don't know about. Like maybe he studied kung fu in secrecy, and it just never came to light. But as of right now, I think if Michael Jackson were brought back from the dead, I would beat him. And fuck the rest of this category. I don't really want to talk about this anymore. This new thing is on my mind about Michael Jackson. Let's just dive into that. Something I think about often, and I think comes up about once a week in my life, is did Michael Jackson do it? As in, did Michael Jackson abuse children? And I know this sounds like a heavy topic for a first episode of a podcast. And I'm not saying, well, you're just going to have to hear me out on this, all right? Okay, so Michael Jackson, obviously, the king of pop, right? Creates all this amazing music. He's an amazing dancer. He's a performer. Arguably the most popular artist to ever exist, ever. Right? But, these accusations, which are probably very true, is that he abused these kids. All right? And as a Michael Jackson fan, as a Michael Jackson, stan, I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe that Michael Jackson did that. It's hard for me to think that the guy who created I Want to Rock With You and Beat It was, doing all that. But, to be fair, I have never seen Finding Neverland. I have never seen that. Maybe I should get on that. Maybe I'm being extremely ignorant. But, I've talked about this a lot, and here's my theory, which is probably wrong. Michael Jackson probably did what he did. And I just want to, think it's not true because I love his music so much. All right. So Michael Jackson, in his childhood, he's, abused, right? Right? And he's made out to be this super successful artist, most talented in his family, blah, blah, blah. So I don't know if Michael Jackson really got a chance to live out a childhood. I mean, he just didn't. So he makes the Neverland Ranch, and he invites all these kids so that he could relive his childhood. Okay, now Okay, I'm not advocating for this, but Michael Jackson supposedly was sleeping in these beds with children. And okay, no adult man should be sleeping in the same bed as another child, I guess only if they're your son or your daughter or whatever, which is still depending how old they are, that's still really fucking weird. But maybe Michael Jackson did it because he was trying to relive sleepovers he never had. I'm not saying that's right at all. This is really fucking weird. Either way, Michael Jackson is a weirdo. Whether he abused those children or not, it's still weird. But that used to be my argument. That used to be well, maybe Michael was just really weird, and it's not right, and he shouldn't have done that. That's the Southern in me coming out. Maybe some Southern guys got a similar opinion. He's like, Michael Jackson, he would never do that. He didn't want to rock with them kids. He wanted to rock with you. That's what I'm talking about. No, man, Michael Jackson probably did that. I'm done with the cope. I just need to accept. And I need to watch Finding Neverland. That's what this is showing me. I'm very interested in what they're going to do in the Michael Jackson biopic that's coming out soon. I feel like they're going to gloss over it completely. I will be going to see it. I heard it's going to be 4 hours long. That's going to be hard to do. I think if they do talk about this case, it's going to be kind of brushed over, or it's going to be these false allegations were put against Michael to try and bang him down. They don't want to see a black man rising in the entertainment industry. I don't think they're going to be nah, Michael did that. Because I think the Michael family is a part of the production. And his nephew is playing him. So I highly, highly doubt that this biopic would talk about that at all. Which goes into another point I kind of want to talk about is biopics and how I don't like them. Okay, the one exception is I just saw Complete Unknown, and I really, really liked it. I like Complete Unknown, and maybe I'm biased because I love Timothée Chalamet, but I thought it was a good movie. But the thing with biopics that, maybe I'm changing my mind on them a little bit, but I just feel like you're putting someone's life to screen that you can never know the full extent of. When you're making a fictional movie and you're writing the characters, like, what we see on screen is all you are supposed to see. The characters are created to service this story. But when it's someone's life, you're going there as an audience member to view what the person's life was like. And I just feel like you'll never, ever truly know what this person's life really was. So to me, it's all like bullshit. It's all fake. When it's fiction, when it's a fictional movie, I accept it's fiction, it's fun, it's entertaining, and that's it. But a biopic, it's like, okay, you don't know this guy. Like, who knows if A Complete Unknown is accurate? I'm sure there's a lot of things in that movie that did happen. But there are things Bob Dylan probably thought about. He probably did or didn't say that he wanted to say, or didn't do that he wish he did, that he just never told anybody about, because you don't share everything about yourself with other people. And no one sees the world through your eyes. So that's why I don't like biopics. And I especially don't like when the person is dead and then they try and make a biopic about them. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why? It's obviously a cash grab. And if it's not a cash grab, it's like some actor trying to win an Oscar. Or, I don't know. Like, I feel like they just probably go up to all these young male actors and they're like, whoa, you're kind of rising in Hollywood right now. Do you want to play this biopic? I mean, play this figure in society in a biopic? For example, and this is a random Jeremy Allen White stray, but Jeremy Allen White, I mean, he signed up for that Bruce Springsteen biopic. I mean, probably because biopics about musicians are huge right now. And this is not me trashing on Jeremy Allen White, but I wonder if he really cares about Bruce Springsteen, that this project was really calling to him. I would be very interested to know if he actually listens to Bruce Springsteen or has any form of connection with his music. I have a feeling that maybe these actors just kind of, oh, fuck you, message. All these actors just kind of see this as an opportunity to further their career. They see it's getting Oscar nominations. Audiences really love it. I'm just really wondering what's the deal behind it. I'm just not a big fan of that. Speaking of Jeremy Allen White, I want to talk about The Bear Season 3, because did anybody else watch the first episode of Season 3 and just never watch the rest? I am a huge fan of The Bear Season 1 and Season 2. I binged Season 1. I'm not going to say I was there before everyone else, but I feel like I was watching The Bear before it was huge. When I was on the little subreddit asking people what they thought about the show. I feel like I'm low-key an OG. And then Season 2 came out, and I liked Season 2. I liked some things. I didn't like all the things. We didn't like Claire. I think I met somebody who said they really loved Claire in The Bear Season 2, and I thought that was ridiculous. I think she has no personality, and I don't really know what she serves to the story, except to be a love interest. She was manic pixie dream girl. It was weird. I just wanted to focus on the relationship between Carmi and his family, not necessarily, kind of his love life, because, everybody, when Season 2 dropped, they were saying, all right, let's get Sid Carmi. Let's do that. Let's get Sydney and Carmi together. And I didn't even love Sydney in the first season. I thought Sydney was kind of annoying. But as she kind of grew on me and I saw their relationship, when I saw the fucking scene where they're under the table and he gives her the jacket and they're talking, that shit was intimate. That shit was sex. Dude, that's romantic. And I was rooting for it. I really want it to happen. That scene where he's he's in the alleyway, oh my gosh, life is so crazy right now. I think he was having like an anxiety or a panic attack or something, and he gets the flashes of Sydney, and he's just like, oh, I'm feeling calmed down. Like, that is not platonic. That is not platonic. That is romantic. I don't know if someone in the writer's room was really pushing for this, and then maybe like Jeremy Allen White and I'm going to say her name wrong. I think it's Io Debery. Maybe they just didn't want to do that, and they have a say in what happens in the show. So, because I hear it didn't happen at all in season 3, and they're with completely different people. I didn't finish season 3. I just couldn't do it. The first episode was like a montage for 30 minutes. It was like too artsy for me. I just like, it was too much. We should have gotten Sid Carmi. I don't care that it's almost like soap opera-y. I don't care. Just give me what I want. Give me what I want. And then, it got renewed for season 4. And what, are we going to have The Bear season 5 and 6 and 7? Like, is this The Walking Dead? I really hope season 4 is the last season of The Bear, because I can't take any more of this. I probably will watch season 3 eventually. Maybe soon, because, this has really brought it back to mind. But I just truly think that maybe the show shouldn't have gone past season 1. As much as I love some of the stuff that happens in season 2, I also hate a lot of what happens in that season. And I don't think The Bear was supposed to ever get as popular as it did. So this is just them kind of capitalizing on all of it. And don't even get me started with The Bear in the comedy section. That is one of the most dramatic shows I've ever seen in my life. Comedy where? The only funny person in that show is Richie, and then the guy who fixed things occasionally. And I mean, like, the stuff Richie, Carmi say to each other, it's funny. Like, it's kind of funny, but it's funny in the way that you're just like, haha, yeah. You don't even acknowledge it. Maybe you, like, breathe out of your nose a little harder than usual. But nothing crazy. And you know what I looked up? I used to think that it was because, okay, it's 30 minutes and under, so that requires it to be a comedy. But the rules changed in the Emmys. It's not like that anymore. So what is this? Why do they keep submitting as a comedy? My personal guess is why they do that is because it's probably just easier to win awards that way. I mean, I don't remember what shows exactly they were up against, but I think they were against a lot of great shows, so they wouldn't have won. Oh, for example, like Succession, like the Bear wouldn't win an award against Succession. So that's probably why they do it. It doesn't make me any less annoyed by it. Another random stray. I didn't love Bottoms. I know it's been a long time since that movie came out, but I remember last year or 2 years ago, however long it was that it came out, Bottoms released, and everyone was saying it was so amazing and so hilarious. And I watched it, and that shit was not it. To me, it felt like super bad, but not super bad. Like, it felt like today's super bad. But it's just like, I don't know, like the whole like, oh, like we're losers and like we can't get girlfriends. Like when Jonah Hill and Michael Cera did that movie, like I believed that they were losers and that they could not get girlfriends. These two characters in this movie, like totally could have gotten girlfriends. Like it was not like a crazy thing to me. It just felt a little forced. And I didn't think it was that hilarious. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. It just kind of felt like a very prolonged SNL skit in a way. But this is just me throwing random strays. Like, maybe this is a little toxic. Maybe I'm being a little insufferable and a little annoying. But Io Devery, I hope I'm saying that name right. I feel like I've said it wrong in the past, and I completely apologize for that. I remember when it was said that she cast a random stray on J-Lo at a stand-up event, and then was made to meet her at SNL and had to apologize to her. And I think that's crazy. So I think it would be crazy if one day I meet her and I have to apologize for saying I didn't like Bottoms. Maybe that would happen. Maybe that'll never happen. Maybe I'll die tomorrow. So the cycle continues. That would be insane. So I got a little call to action here. I don't really know how you're supposed to end podcasts, but here's my call to action. Hollywood, maybe don't do so many biopics. Actually, you know what? I kind of like the biopics sometimes. I think if you accept that it's just a fictional version of this person's life as entertaining, But it's like, I don't know, it almost feels like a slap in the face to these people if they're alive or dead or whatever. And watch Finding Neverland. I'm going to watch Finding Neverland. I'll make it my goal to watch Finding Neverland and get back to y'all on what was said in the next episode. Thank you guys for watching or listening. Thank you for hearing me ramble. I know this is a bit messy. I've never done a podcast before. I'm just trying to get my footing. But I hope you stick around and come for the next episode. This is a lot of fun. And we're going to have guests eventually and maybe some games or something. So, yeah, maybe comment down below if you like what you're listening to, what you'd want to hear me talk about, my opinions on things. I'm very excited. Thank you guys so much for listening, and stay sweet. Bye.